So here we see another late Byzantine, early medieval writer also saying that Karaman and the Egyptian priesthood were the first to teach interpretation of literary texts through allegorical method and through exegesis, right? And so in the late antiquity, any philosopher or thinker, they were trained in the Homeric literature, they were trained in the Hesiod, they were trained in the Iliad, they were trained in the Aeneid, right? All the great literary epics of the Greco-Roman world, right? And so, and it's the same thing in ancient Egypt. They have their own literary traditions from the Old Kingdom, the instructions of Mary Kara, the book of Ptahhotep, Middle Kingdom literature, wisdom literature. So the ancient Egyptian priests have been exegeting and interpreting their own literature for over 3,000 years, right? And they had carried that tradition into the Greco-Roman world. So it was nothing for them to also apply those methods to Greco-Roman literature and then even influence exegesis and hermeneutical methods even among early Christian theologians like Origen. Eusebius says the same thing for this man, referring to having been the hearer of Ammonius. Ammonius was an Egyptian teacher of Origen who had attained the greater proficiency in philosophy of any in our day, derived much benefit from his teacher in the knowledge of the sciences. But as to the correct choice of life he pursued a course opposite to him. And so here, the church historian Eusebius is saying that Origen studied with the Egyptian life. So Origen was a disciple of Ammonius, who was an Egyptian philosopher. He was a classmate of Plotinus, the Neo-Egyptian philosopher, who's often considered the founder of Neoplatonism. And of course, he also was reading Karaman, the Egyptian philosopher. Here I have a chart to the left. Karaman, the Egyptian priest Karaman, also influenced the founder of the catechetical school of Alexandria, Pantanus. Right. Pantanus was a convert to Christianity. Before that, he was a Stoic philosopher, right? So he lived about a little after. He might have been. Clement Alexander is also reading Karaman. He cites Karaman. There are passages in the Stromata where Clement Alexander is describing the Egyptian priesthood and the offices of the Egyptian priesthood and the content of their philosophical studies and their scholarship and research. And he is citing Karaman's work on Egyptian priests. Ammonius Saccas, again, he was an Egyptian philosopher. He was a teacher of both Origen and Plotinus, right? Origen laid out early Christian theology, Eastern Christianity in particular, and of course Plotinus is considered the founder of Neoplatonism, which is actually a misnomer. It's actually a Neo-Egyptian philosophy. And then certainly Plotinus also trained the Neo-Egyptian philosophers, Porphyry. In the Western tradition,